What's up, creative people of YouTube and Lego builders alike? The question being asked is Lego going out like Blockbuster did back in the days? Uh, just blind and nearsighted, unable to see what's coming. If you guys remember, most people at the time, they all knew what was happening, and we all knew the right decisions to be made. And Blockbuster failed to implement them. They knew that the internet existed, they knew that people were streaming and people were bootlegging movies, and yet they refused to go into the online streaming market. They thought people are always going to walk into brick and mortar and rent a movie. And fast forward, now we can just go to Redbox at 7-Eleven or just from home, just get any movie we want. Nostalgia is wonderful. We all have nostalgia. We all love nostalgia. Being nostalgic also holds you back in a certain sense. Now, me personally, I'm an adult. I've been collecting Legos since the 90s, playing with them. I stop playing with them and then I come back to it every 3 to 5 years. And why do I stop playing with them? Because certain parts don't exist. You guys haven't made them yet. Here's how you guys are being nearsighted. Everything is online based shopping now. It's literally taking over everything, right? That doesn't mean brick and mortar stores are out the question, but it's, you guys need to be more online based in a sense. Like I shouldn't have to go to a third party company to purchase your parts. I should be able to buy all the parts I want directly from you guys, even the rare parts. You guys are also being nearsighted in a sense where you guys think that people won't go to third-party companies to buy parts in order to use with Legos, right? Like this Lego minifigurine is a perfect example. My little cousin gave me this. I thought it was a Lego when I first saw it, but it's not. But its arms and legs do move left and right and sideways and forward and backward, and Lego is stuck in nostalgia and refuses to update its minifigurine. That's fine. You guys don't want to touch the minifigurine. It's your logo. I get it. But everything else, like to my right is a hobby grade toy. This is about $800. It does 80 miles an hour out the box. I've upgraded it, different body, different everything. This used to be Arma Felony. I put the limitless body on it, painted glow in the dark, everything, the back fins. I put things in the tire, it shoots fire every time it peels out. This thing does about 100 miles an hour right now. The excavator was the greatest model you guys ever built. It's just the level of build, the intricacy, the amount of new parts you guys introduced, and you guys didn't go cheap with it. You guys gave us everything. There was a big price tag. That was the flagship product of the year, and it was just phenomenal. But ever since then, everything has gone downhill. I bought everything from the Formula One to the Unimog to whatever, and I ended up tearing them down because they weren't fully functioning the way I wanted them to be fully functioning. Yeah, certain things functioned, but they weren't identical to a real excavator like that was. Now, I bought the Ducati. I love Ducatis and motorcycles and stuff, so hey, I saw a Ducati, the Ducati Agusta. I love them both, so you guys could have put something that reciprocated back and forth on the top, like a counterweight, put a motor on it, you know, some steering, and with the remote control, we could have had a remote control motorcycle, but you guys refused to do that. That type of toy has existed since the 90s. Third-party parts. You guys are the largest tire manufacturer in the world. If I was on the board, I'd look at all the assets that we have. Like, what do we control? What's ours? Well, we're the largest producer of tires in the world. How do we capitalize on that? Well, if we made faster, stronger, better motors and models that go faster, and I don't mean 80 miles an hour out the box, I mean at least able to do 10-20 miles an hour, then we would be wearing out the tires, of which I would purchase new tires. I'd be purchasing certain models or creating certain models knowing that I'm gonna wear out the tires. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have all these tires just laying around, you know, from all these different sets. And these are all just some of my Legos. And imagine, like, I keep everything organized and whatnot. But so tires, I'd capitalize on that. And then I would also venture into the Hot Wheels territory. I'd introduce tracks, because Lego is a bunch of pieces that connect together anyway. So why not connect a whole bunch of tracks? Introduce smaller motors, smaller gears, smaller parts, not just bigger ones, but smaller ones, where we can have entire vehicles on tracks we can control remotely, right? I mean, I would have, if I was on the board of decision making for Lego, I would have put, I would have made Hot Wheels, like I'll give them a run for their money. But you guys aren't doing that. You guys haven't even introduced a fire truck that can shoot out water. I know you guys don't want to mess around with the military toys, even though everyone loves tanks and planes and stuff. They're awesome. But you guys don't want to mess around with that. Okay, but why not fire trucks? Everyone loves fire trucks. Everyone likes firemen. They put out fires. They pull out cats from trees. I mean, why wouldn't you like a fireman? You know, like, just, you guys haven't introduced, how hard is it to make a Lego, something that holds water, where we can use water grade pneumatics and shoot out water? Why haven't you guys made Lego Technic boats, where we can actually put them in the water using the motors and stuff without getting, like, a floatable boat, so that we can maneuver around the water with? I mean, right now, even things are what the hell is the name? Those little things that drones are a thing. So you guys need to introduce smaller, like, pancake motors, better propellers and stuff, so that we can get some lift out of these toys, you know? I'll venture into that, because if drones are a thing, you guys go into the camera side and, like, everything. I'll venture into every single aspect, right? You guys had Mindstorms, and people were programming their own stuff. Now, why wouldn't I want to create a drone, put a little camera on it, you know, make it all controlled from my phone, all these features that you guys can have? But the amount of time it takes you guys to release new parts is frustrating, and it makes us stop playing, you know? And these are some of the unique pieces you guys have put out. I mean, not all of them are unique, but the amount of time it took you guys to release some of this stuff is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Lego makes metal pieces. Okay, you guys need to make metal rods and stuff, little metal pieces that we could put inside the little pinholes, and then put a metal piece through it, so that we're not wearing it out. That way we can get some speed out of it, right? So that when we make these big models, these pieces aren't bending and breaking. Like, I mean, come on, you know, this thing is heavy. Look at the amount of, I had to use 2 suspension and a pneumatic piece that I bored out, so that it can be a shock absorber. You know, you guys still haven't introduced a simple thing as a lowrider. You guys have pneumatics, you guys have shocks. Is it really that difficult to make a vehicle that bounces, that does 3-wheel motion, pancakes? Come on. If I was on the board, the decision making, it's like, yeah, you guys have to understand. You guys really have to understand this, that kids want to be teenagers. Teenagers want to be adults. Adults want to remain young and maintain our youth. That's why we're nostalgic. That's how we go back to Lego. It's not only that it's a three-dimensional puzzle that moves and functions, and we built it out of our imagination, our creativity. It's like, it's still the kid in us, right? There's a nostalgia to it, but like I said, kids want to be teens, teens want to be adults, adults want to be like kids. And it's us adults buying all this stuff. If it's not for us, it's for kids. All my cousins, nieces, nephews, all my friends' kids, boys or girls, when they're young, I buy them Lego Technic, so that when they're customizing their own builds, it expands their mind in the way things function, in the way they build things, you know, their mind expands. So you guys are also in the educational, like in the education room. You get what I'm saying? You guys are educating kids. You guys are producing toys. I mean, outventure in so many things and capitalize on so many. Otherwise, you guys are just being like Blockbuster. You're thinking, you know, if you guys introduce a new gear once a year and new colors in certain pieces, that it's gonna be enough. No, there's 3D printers now. People are gonna 3D print things. They're gonna sell things online. They're CNC machine metal pieces, all kinds of stuff. Soon we're gonna be 3D printing metal pieces. And if you guys aren't ahead of the curve on it and take full control of it, then you guys are gonna be like Blockbuster. Well, by the time you guys realize, it's gonna be too late. So you guys need to really capitalize on everything you have, everything you guys can have, right? Even what's it called? Hovercraft. You guys even haven't made a proper hovercraft. A giant piece of it. You guys have the pneumatic pieces, just a giant piece of rubber that we could build around, that we can inflate with the pump, you know, and then just have a hovercraft where we can blow air through it using proper propellers that you guys produce. I mean, the amount of space you guys can go into and the different ways you guys can venture. I love the fact that you guys are partnering up with other companies like Volvo, Mercedes, Ducati, Bugatti, Lamborghini. You guys are venturing in with all these bigger companies to produce something they already have. But I mean, you guys need to get more intricate with it and introduce more parts, new parts, right? That we can custom build later. We can use to custom build anything we want. I mean, I don't know, like, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's what's ringing in my head. And nostalgia is the blind people, you know? We're all nostalgic to a point, but not to a point where it blinds us. So instead, be the one-eyed man. Be the king of your realm, you know? And I'm saying this out of love for Legos, because I love Lego and Lego Technics and all the other types of Legos you guys create, right? But yeah, I'm saying this out of love. I don't want to see this disappear. Instead, I want to see this blow up into 10 times better than it is. And it's not replacing the old. It's having new stuff that we can incorporate with the old, right? When PlayStation 2 came out, we were still able to use the PlayStation 1 games. When PlayStation 5 came out, we were still able to use PlayStation 1 games, or 2 games, or 3 games, right? Like, they have to be compatible, man. You guys need to venture in. You need to extend your tentacles in your own field and beyond, from other, into the realm of where other toy manufacturers are, like where Hot Wheels is, where tracked toys are at, like everything, and capitalize on what you guys have already established, like being the largest tire manufacturer in the world. You guys produce more tires than anyone in the world. but they're all tires that are just rotting away because newer, better, faster needs to come out, and some of them become obsolete, and they, you know, you use them once in a blue moon. But yeah, that's my little rant and thoughts on Lego and Lego Technic, and the hope I have of someone at Lego hearing me and actually capitalizing on what I'm trying to say. The people, they know that every time they build a custom piece, they say it to them. So why hasn't Lego made this yet? You know, why hasn't Lego done this yet? And you, that people, that it's your job to think of these things. It's your job to create more capital for the company, to create better models so that you guys can produce more jobs, can produce you know, like, if you guys are kind of dropping the ball in that sense, you know? Whoever thought about venturing in with other companies, genius idea. I hope he got promoted. But come on, some of those other people, like, they really need to put their heads together and really think about this. Like, what are we missing here? Well, like, do you see the future? Do you see what's coming? We need to be ahead of it. The wave is coming, and we need to be ahead of it. So, like I said, it's coming out of love for Legos, but it's also the frustration. I see it. So, you guys have a great build. You guys have a great day. And peace.